Unfortunately for me, I'm going to have to quit.
The last few years, input prices have been really high. Whatever you're putting into that farm has gone up tremendously. We are seeing record yields the last 2 years and lower demand internationally.
I've lost $250,000, and you're just like, how? But
what do you attribute that to? What do you think it is?
High input cost, stuff out of our control.
No, it's been that way for at least the last 4 years and more, but last 4 years it's just been really tough. 10th generation coming from right after the Revolutionary War with 7th great grandpa and all the way till now. He started out in Illinois, and then my great grandpa moved from Illinois to Stuttgart in 1910. Started farming rice there in 1911, and then somewhere along the way we ended up here in Weiner. We farm 3,800 acres, mainly rice and soybeans now. I started right out of high school, graduated in 1988, and was farming while I was going to college. And then 1990, I got my first crop loan and got my first 125 acres.
This year I'm gonna farm about 3,400 acres, half rice, half soybeans. My family's farmed for 50, 60 years. This will be my 19th crop. Started farming as soon as I graduated high school. Last year started out phenomenal. We had a great spring, probably the best spring I think maybe in the history of Arkansas agriculture. Got everything in early, got everything up growing. Crop looked great, come out of the ground growing like crazy, getting enough timely rains. Seemed like everything we were doing was working.
Last year, it was a challenge, just like the last 4 have been. Got the crop in, in a good amount of time, and got to harvest, and had the hurricanes come through, and all the rice went down, so that slowed everything down. But we ended up having a pretty decent crop.
All in all, it was a great year. It just cut record yields with no profit.
It's not as bright and pretty as it has been in the past. And as an economist, I haven't quite seen a year like this before.
The input costs have just continued to rise. The prices that we can get for the crops it isn't following. That's really put a hurt on a lot of us.
This year's doesn't look good on paper, but that don't always mean it's going to be a bad year. But when it doesn't look good when you start, you go to finding ways to cut costs, do some things that you don't normally do, maybe not do some things you normally do. And there's only so many places you can cut before you start cutting yield, though. I mean, we've about trimmed all the fat out of the budget we can.
Unfortunately for me, I'm going to have to quit. So I just, it's hard, but it's come to an end. The hailstorm that I had in 22, that really took a toll on the operation. And I just been hoping I could recover from it a little bit at a time, and it just isn't in the cards, I don't guess. We're gonna have an auction in a month or so and load the crops out of the bins and close the chapter.
The break even, for example, on a specific row crop is higher than what your average yield is for the state, or what even the maximum yield is you've ever produced on your farm. So you're looking at potentially losing money again next year, just as you did the previous year.
We need a farm bill yesterday. We couldn't stress enough that we need a farm bill for the safety net, to lay our head down at night knowing that, hey, we got some protection.
We need a current, up-to-date farm bill. I mean, the farm bill is so out of date, it hasn't kept up with the times.
And what Farm Bureau's really been pushing for is economic assistance from the federal level over the last several months. It looks like that's coming. It is a little too late, right? And even though it is something, it's not going to keep everybody farming.
The scary part about it is, what do you do after this?
All I know to do is put my head down and go farm.